Hey, Bad Christian here again, and today is Wednesday, October 22nd of 2025, and you are listening with the Bad Christian. So let's go ahead and get started about some of the things that are going on in our events in this world. It's been a while since we've talked, been a few days. Today is day 22 of the government shutdown. And yesterday, Johnson just wanted to make sure that everybody understood that this has absolutely nothing to do with the Epstein files, and that they are working on maximum transparency. Meanwhile, you got a lot of people that are on food stamps and SNAP benefits and so forth. We got all of our military people. I've got family that's out there that's not getting paid right now, and they're needing help with their bills, and a lot of this stuff just seems to be piling up really quick. It's like it's a lot to keep track of at one time. Especially if you're really sold on the right and left paradigm, which seems to be a majority of the people these days. I personally am somebody who doesn't buy into the right. I'm not somebody who buys into the left. I don't mind to point out the ridiculousness of some of the stuff that they talk about, but at the same time, I understand that the same people who fund the left are the same people that fund the right, and at the end of the day, I'm a Bible-believing man. And my Bible tells me that there'll come a point in this world where basically the governments of the earth are overrun by the merchants of the earth. And I believe we're seeing that happen right now. Because the people that are actually making the decisions behind closed doors are people who have large corporations or businesses, especially in AI, which is set to be unrestricted for the next 10 years conveniently. Unless you want to do fake AI porn, they put a stop on that. But anyway, there's a lot going on, guys. There's so much going on. We've got the No Kings protest went down, and I just want to say I'm really glad that we didn't have any chaos. That's a lot of people to show up, and not anything serious break out. So it was kind of impressive that many people. It kind of gave me a piece of hope in the American people, seeing that many could gather up and chaos didn't ensue, so that's good. I was a little worried about that whole situation that popped up, because that thing just kind of popped out of nowhere, and then all of a sudden, you've got, we're celebrating the Marines' 250th birthday, and now we're sending missiles over top of people's head. Guys, that birthday is not till November 10th, just so you know. That thing popped up out of nowhere, a little parade, which is essentially what the No Kings protest was a parade. I mean, it wasn't a protest. Technically weren't protesting anything. They were just saying they don't like the man in the administration behind the deal. But there really was no purpose except for a giant psyop that proved that at any moment we can draw millions of people and crowds to our main centers in our cities, and it doesn't take much, guys. Social media is doing exactly what it's designed to do, and that is to guide you. I mean, just think about this, guys. AI is coming, unrestricted, and we cannot compete with AI. All right? And what's funny is there's all this rhetoric and there's all this stuff out there where they really want the common man to be afraid of AI. But there's a part of me that wonders if those that are in high up places aren't making a lot of heavy moves right now because they are afraid of AI. I heard Johnson make a remark the other day about we're in a nuclear arms race, and that this is a major thing, and we can't afford for the government to be shut down right now because that's progress we need to be making. And I know that he's not talking about regular nuclear arms.
He said, I just want to articulate for you how serious this is in terms of national defense. And we didn't get into the classified parts there, we weren't in the skiff, but suffice it to say that every day that the government is shut down, it is a danger to the American people. We're in a nuclear arms race with adversaries right now. It can't be any more serious than this. China, Russia, Iran, North Korea, you've seen what they're up to. America is the last great superpower on the planet, but we have to maintain that status. And if we get behind on funding or personnel or any of these projects that we're involved in that are at a level that we can't talk about in here, it's very serious.
And we know that technology and AI And all of that is a major, major priority to the government right now. And if you've seen some of the stuff that was going on, or I should say is going on, in China right now, it might give you a little room for concern. I mean, we have the largest population increase, the boomers, they're all going out right now, and they're trying to retire, and they're trying to draw their social services for all you boomers out there who think that you're not partaking in socialism. Yeah, you want your government medical programs. You want your Social Security. You're counting on these things for retirement. You absolutely do believe in socialism, and you do support it. You just get upset when you think that somebody else is dipping their hands into your honeypot when it comes to your socialism. And the brand that you want to push doesn't allow anybody to do so. But at the end of the day, both sides are supporting socialism. And that's why I stand where I stand when it comes to those things, guys. I'm not going to sit and complain about people getting fed, about people getting broken arms fixed or getting emergency room visits, when the majority of the money that we put out to go to our tax dollars goes to fighting war, or I guess $230 million to pay off Donald Trump because he got some due process, even though he doesn't give the rest of us that quality of life or that priority. When he sends the ICE agents out and he sends the National Guard in and just pull random people off the streets and violate their Fourth Amendment. And if he's willing to violate that amendment, he's willing to violate all amendments. Not that those matter, because at the end of the day, all of it is a show. It's all theater, everybody. It's out there. Each side pushes back against the other to tighten the noose and tighten the noose. We don't support freedom. We're not out here arguing politics because we want freedom. We're out here arguing policies, which is the opposite of freedom. That's why your Second Amendment has been infringed as long as it has, because this is not about how free we can be as Americans. This is an argument about laws and legislations that people want to put into place that take freedom not just away from Americans, but away from every human being in the United States. And that's kind of why I stand where I stand with this stuff, guys. Because if you support taking it away from another human being, do you deserve to have it? Do you deserve to have that fail-safe to fall back on when things aren't working good for you in a world that's getting increasingly tougher to survive in? The cost of things is just constantly going through the roof. And we're about to see a major housing crisis. That's going to happen because as these boomers go out, you got to understand you have a whole generation of people that was raised and has lived their adult lives under the idea that debt is wealth. And debt is not wealth. And those people have used their equity to continue on. And as the cost of things goes up and inflation goes up, and the markets go down, these are the people that are in danger, and these are the people who are going to need those programs the most. And so, me personally, I'm not against government. I'm not against social programs. I just think that priorities are important. And I'm not seeing that. Coming from either side. When both sides stand out there and pretend like they're warring against one another and they can't stand one another, just know that that is a lie, people. That's an absolute lie. Okay? Trump himself even said, hey, I could go in there and I could sit down and talk to both sides, but I'm not doing it till they come to an agreement.
Is that rumor that he reached out to you about meeting on the government shutdown? Will you meet with him before you leave for Asia on Friday?
Well, I will actually. I'd love to meet with them. I just want them to open up the country first. You know, the country is so hot right now, and they've never voted against, continuation. They've never voted against. They've never done that. They're doing this because they have Trump derangement syndrome. But I would love to meet. I would like to meet with both of them. But I set one little caveat. I will only meet if they let the country open. They have to let the country open. The people want to go back to work. They want to be served. They need the services of some people, and a lot of people need the money, the payroll. So I'll do it as soon as they open up the country. I'd like to meet
So
with
you
them.
won't meet with them until the government.
Mr.
Just to be
President.
clear, you won't meet with them until the government's open.
The government has to be open, yeah.
That's him telling you he doesn't care. And what I'm afraid of is what is going on behind closed doors now that the government is technically shut down. Because you know it's not shut down. They're doing more than they've ever done. They're even boasting about this, as Johnson said. They are trying to reach they are in overtime. Quote: they are in overtime to get the Epstein files maximum transparency. Boy, I'm sure you are. You know, you don't even need to vote that lady in to go ahead and get that released. You know, J.D. Vance does have the authority to go in there and sit down and raise his hand and make that vote if it's really a matter of transparency, I suppose. Speaking of J.D. Vance, did you see the speech that he had and the little thing he did there with Netanyahu?
Christians believe is the site that Jesus Christ was crucified in. And I know that Christians have many titles for Jesus Christ, and one of them is the Prince of Peace. And I'd ask all people of faith, in particular my fellow Christians, to pray that the Prince of Peace can continue to work a miracle in this region of the world. I think that we have made incredible strides.
He almost hinted at that Donald Trump was the Prince of Peace, but he did it so subtly and so cleverly. And he even kind of raised his eyebrow when he said it. Because, you know, they are stating that this is a peace deal that hasn't been seen in, you know, since like way before Jesus, because, you know, it's got to be 3,000 years. It's the best they've ever seen, you know.
This took 3,000 years to get to this point. Can you believe it? And it's going to hold up, too. It's going to hold up.
So I just thought it was really suspect when J.D. Vance made that reference to that 3,000-year peace deal and the Prince of Peace working, and and then at the same time you got all this rhetoric about possible assassinations going on against Trump, and that there's tree stands being set up and he's being hunted, while they show all these videos of the protesters in the street. And now you got people pretending to be ICE agents because they're ready to get these people off of the streets. And they just keep turning us against us and against us and against us, while they just run around and do whatever they want to do up there. Who matters if... It doesn't matter if it's open or not. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter at the end of the day, people. Has nothing to do with it, because the things that are being put into play, like I said, I'm a Bible believer, tells me that that government, that constitution, that ruling factor that you value so much is in jeopardy and has been in jeopardy since the day it was established. Which means that something called the devil is always trying to get his hands on it. It's always trying to figure out how to lead you away from righteousness. And so that's why you see what you see. That's why you see politicians talking about, we're not going to put up with political violence and the rhetoric coming from the other side because they're ridiculous and they're terrorists and they're dictators, and each side is just, they're feeding it. And if you're buying into it, you're being foolish. You need to step back, my people. I love everybody, and I don't want to see this continue on until there's nowhere left to go. Until they've got us all the way by the balls, people. Because that's what they're fixing to do. They're fixing to set up a world where they don't need you to work. And I'd say all these elites are scared to death right now. Because let's just think for a second. If AI was going to start taking jobs, would it start by taking the plumber's job? Not that it can't do it, because mark my words, it can. Would it start by taking the electrician's job, the tree man's job? Would it start by taking the farmer's job? Actually, farmers are in quite the jeopardy. Not just from AI, but financially. That's a huge issue right now, because I guess food's not that important. But back to what I was talking about. AI is first going to take the jobs of the people who lay back, these CEOs, and they don't have any real purpose other than say, yeah, go ahead and do this, that's a good idea. Yeah, go ahead and do that, that's a good idea. AI is going to be able to do the jobs of the corporate CEOs before it's going to be able to do the jobs of the little man. So if I were corporate America, I would be scared to death of AI. I would be doing everything I could do to either buy into that thing or to control that thing or to get what I could before this gravy train was done. There's a lot we have to take in account to here, people. There's too much going on at one time. And none of it makes sense. If you want to look at the politics, the left or the right, if you're looking at those and those are making sense to you, please step back. If it gets any more ridiculous, I can't turn the TV on without it being total cringe at this point. Because the stuff they say, left and right, Democrat and Republican, MAGA and liberal, is just cringe at this point. When are we gonna understand that this thing is not built to help us? And I think there's a part of us that understands that. Hey, and SNAP benefits being in jeopardy, and and soldiers not getting paid, maybe that's enough to make y'all understand that this is serious, and that if we screw this up, if we take one wrong step, we could be sitting in a really bad place, people. And I just want to encourage us to just pay attention. If it's something that's moving you in a way politically to hate another side, we have to talk about policy. We have to talk about the things that are going on. We have to hold somebody accountable. But as a human race, we have to put our feet down, which is another thing I want to bring up. I'm not AI. So don't be watching AI channels, people. Find human content, real relatable humans. I beg you, please, find actual human content and watch that. And boycott that AI crap out there. Don't feed it. If you've got a job and the people at your work and the people above you are saying, hey, I need you to go ahead and start working with AI and start training AI models, maybe it's a smart idea to say, hey, I'm not going to train something to do my job for me. If you support American jobs, if you support a good economy, why would we support things that are going to take all this away from us? They say we'll own nothing and be happy. Do you believe them? Are you going to continue to believe them? Because that's a bipartisan thing. Well, I hope these words have been helpful to everybody, and I hope everybody's going to have a great day the rest of the day, and just come back and see us next time. This has been The Bad Christian on Listening with the Bad Christian.